Bitcoin to 130,000 US dollars. And then, just like that famous movie, if you know, you know. Good morning, stackers. This is a Bitcoin and crypto update with me, Joe Main, for Saturday, the 12th of July, 2025, brought to you by Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage, where you get 2% brokerage fees for life, which is a 42% saving if you use the link that I put somewhere. Well worth doing it. Let's do a quick synchronized slurp. Grab your tasty beverage. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, boy, this is Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. The big zoom out, just wanted to show you. We're at 117,555, brand new all-time high. Just happened, I think it was in the last 24 hours, roughly. Can you imagine buying in 2011? My claim to fame, as many of you know, is I did buy 2 Bitcoin back in 2013 for 98 US dollars each. No, I don't still have them, but this is the power of just hodl, and maybe later on down the track you'll sell a bit here and there, but don't play the massive game. Okay, hodl. Can you imagine if I had kept those from what, 11, 12 years? Not bad. And can you imagine in 10 years time going, man, I wish I had have held my Bitcoin that I bought at $117,000 each. Anyway, you live and you learn. So let's pop on some indicators and talk about that 130,000 thing, what I'm talking about. And what's that little yellow dot right there? I'll get to that very shortly. This is Bitcoin on the Bitstamp exchange, priced in USD, as I said, tradingview.com website. And we're now onto the daily. We have peaked so far at 118,000, 119,000-ish. Okay, so what am I talking about in terms of $130,000? Well, quite simply on the weekly time frame, it's a longer term Fibonacci extension point. So if I take it from this high and this low, now please understand, this could be the wrong calculation. I could be wrong on this. Okay, this might not be the point where we find some major resistance, although on balance of probability, I'm betting on it, at least as an area of decent resistance from this high on the weekly and this low on the weekly. It's very clear that's the high, that's the low. You have the 1.618 Fibonacci extension. Now, I think it will go there. I think it will find some resistance there. You can see on the weekly, we haven't really found much resistance. This is on the weekly time frame. It's a beautiful big green candle with a very small wick. So far we haven't closed the week out though, so you can certainly head lower, but I do think we head up to around about here before we take a bit of a pause on the weekly time frame. So that's my humble non-financial advice opinion. Why? Because 1.618 Fibonacci extensions, when you're in price discovery, okay, when you're in uncharted price territory, tends to be one that many traders, many investors look at, and if enough people believe it to be a thing, they then place their trades accordingly, which then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like a big circle, right? So that's why I think 130. Next question is, well, I'll go to the daily quickly, and let's just assume for a second, let's look at the opposite view just for a second. If we are going to pause here, I'm not saying we are, but if we are, what would be the signs that we potentially are pausing here and then going to shoot just straight through 130 instead? We are on the daily time frame. Let me pop in. We've already just gone into extremely overvalued or extremely overbought on the daily time frame, but you can spend a lot of time up in there, so I wouldn't assume that ticks over just yet. But I guess just to let you know, we are extremely overbought. The on-balance volume though is looking still very, very good, but if we were to come down here just to keep keep the contrarian view just in case, you can take it from this low and this high, and clearly you just don't want to break through the previous high right there of 112. Pretty simple. Yeah, all you do is you just do that, and that's the area that you don't want to break below. So I reckon if we take a pause here, I'm going to probably assume you won't go back into this area here. You'll probably bounce off at least the 0.382, and that's at $111,000. Cool. That might freak a couple of people out, because what that might do, and of course this is all just spitballing, but it might come down to here, it breaks this, right? And then some people get shaken out and they go, oh no, it's broken back down, and it goes, ha, sucked in, and then don't forget, they fake you out to try to shake you out. So I just look at that little potential if we are stopping here for a little bit. If we are not, however, I do think it is that 130,000 where we come up to, at least on the weekly time frame. So something like this, next week, next couple of weeks, maybe a big spike to around about that 130, and then we might take a little bit of a break. A small break. I think we are going higher in 2025 at this stage, although you've got to keep an eye out on all the indicators, etc. So to give you an example, again, you've got to look at the contrarian view. You cannot be a moon boy on crypto just because it's going higher. At some point, it'll tick over, right? So the contrarian view, again, you always have to look at it. Imagine coming up to around about 130. Okay, that's that 1.618 Fibonacci. It then starts to pivot off there, so that's a clear spike. If we get a clear spike and then a couple of, 1 or 2 red weeks, then you can say that's definitely the pivot. And then it all depends on where it sits on the relative strength index. So for example, right here, if it closes up at, say, that area or even higher, okay, but it fails to break that level right there, then what you've got is a bearish divergence playing out. So you can get higher prices, even higher than that, but then if it doesn't creep above there, if it actually matches or actually closes lower, you've got a higher high on the weekly and then an equal or a lower high on the relative strength index. That actually indicates momentum loss, and it indicates, oh, okay, we're going to have a little bit of a dip here, okay? So I do think higher prices in Bitcoin coming. You've just got to look at the other side of it. You've got to look at things like the relative strength index, all those indicators, or just hit the big red subscribe button and follow me on X as well. And I will keep you updated when I see that kind of stuff playing out. So let's talk about now, very quickly, before we get to other general crypto, what's this little dot up here? Well, that's sitting at 200,000 US dollars. Okay, and that's sitting on time scale at the end of this year. So 200,000 US dollars by the end of 2025. I've put that mark there because our esteemed friend Bisha over at stormrake.com, one of my brand sponsors, did an interview with me just a few weeks ago, not that long, about a month ago, roughly, on the channel, and I'll get you to go over there. I'll put a link to it somewhere as well. And he went through his case for $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025. Okay, he made a very rational explanation as to why he thinks that is. It wasn't just a pipe dream. He said, I'm laying it down because of this, and this. It's fascinating. Okay, now, interestingly, this was around about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And 4 or 5 weeks ago, where were we? So we were sitting at whatever that was. That was on the 13th of June. Okay, so if I go back here, where was the price on the 13th of June? We were around about here-ish. We were below the all-time high. So he's saying $200,000. He really thinks as up to that kind of area, 180 to 220, he was saying. And some people, had commented, it's a bit of a pipe dream. Look at where we are right now. We're at $117,000. Okay, that's not that far from here in 2025, and we've still got just less than 6 months to go. So from here, what's that? Oh, okay. That's a 68% move. It's a 70% move from here. That's nothing for crypto in just less than 6 months' time. Nothing at all. So I am not saying it's going there for sure, but it is absolutely doable, and it would not be shocking if the price went to 200,000 US dollars in 2025. Please understand, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. And one of the main reasons why it wouldn't surprise me is actually because, from a technical perspective, and this is my own personal drawing, okay, this is where I've got these levels here. This actually doesn't even break the uptrend line here, the bottom end of the old school macro trend channel that goes all the way back here. So I've drawn this in quite a while ago. Okay, so through this high in 2013, through the 27 area, and then you can see that we've just kind of fallen under there. Now I've put this little parallel channel right there. Some people decided to put it around about there-ish. Some people put it through that little bottom right there, and you could say that's about right too, but I actually put it where the COVID low happened, right there. That's just my personal preference, but you can see it's still respecting it very well. So what we saw was, once we did break down through it, And let's have a look. See, where I've got it there, it acted as support, tried to stay above, failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move is a fast move in the opposite direction. And then since then, we've been under that trend line. Okay, we have never gotten back above it, even though the price went from $16,000 to where we are now. It basically, I tried it here for what? That's a couple of weeks. It was above, again, a failed move. So it's basically spent no time. It went from $16,000 to $117,000, and it's still below the normal trend channel that it used to be in. Okay, this is why I think $200,000 Bitcoin, anywhere up to here, is actually really doable, and again, not surprising. So pick a point. Could it be at 166,000? Could we do it here at 190? Could it be even slightly higher? Could it be 220,000? That's actually still within the range that Bisha talked about, the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Stormrake, stormrake.com. Really doable, 200,000. So that's the little blip there. I'm going to keep that there and let's see what happens. Okay, speaking of Stormrake, stormrake.com, it is a full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. So if you are into crypto, or if you want to get your friends and family into crypto, but they don't know how to do it, and you want to spend the time teaching them how to do it, or are you going to do it for them? No, you wouldn't, because you've got your own tax implications. If you're buying it, if they're sending you the money and then you're buying it through your stuff, well, yeah, you've got to pay the tax on it, mate. So you just send them to Stormrake, stormrake.com. They are Australian-based, but they service Australia, they service the US. They're going to go even further around the world, okay? Full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. It means you just call or email your broker, your dedicated broker, and just go, I want $20,000 of Bitcoin. And they go, great, leave it with me. They do it all. They can even do self-custody. Okay, they can even do full custody for you using cold wallets and all that, not keeping them on exchanges and all that kind of stuff. They'll give you a cold wallet, etc. But even if you don't want to do that and you want self-custody, they'll just buy the Bitcoin for you and they'll send it to your nominated address. And they'll actually walk you through the process of how to do self-custody yourself. You know, the best hardware wallets to buy, how to do it. They are dedicated to you to make sure that you are confident buying crypto for the first time. Or even if you're a long-time crypto investor, just get these guys to do it for you. Now, here's the deal. They will charge you a 3.5% brokerage fee unless you sign up with my link. Okay, I'll put a link somewhere and you get it for 2% for the lifetime of the account. That's a 42% discount. Okay, why would you not do that? Why would you not at least, bare minimum, sign up for an account? Why? It's free. You just sign up for an account. And as long as you've done that with my link, if you buy Bitcoin in 3 months' time or any kind of crypto that they sell, and they sell a wide range of it, 2% brokerage fees. So do it for your future and do it for your friends and family's future as well. Just get them to go, just sign up with this link, 2% for the life of the account. Even when they raise prices later on down the track, which they may do, you've got 2%. You've grandfathered in, don't you know? That is Stormrake, stormrake.com. Let's go over to some other crypto right now. We want to take a look at general crypto. Okay, let's go to others. Interesting. Here is others, the altcoin market minus the top 10. We are above 260 billion. We did it. We did it. We are above 260 billion. We only talked about this, on the live show on Thursday. We were below here. We were around about where was that on Thursday? That was like, we were still below 250 billion. This is where we were last time. So I said once we got into here, up through 238 billion, and that we were also above this downtrend line as well. I said, great, fantastic. The live show was entitled, Is it altcoin season? Is it alt season now? Okay, we're saying looking really good. I said, look, it's just good at least bare minimum creep above 250 and close above there. And the big kicker is if you get above and close above 260 billion. Well, in like 24 hours, 48 hours, I should say, we smashed through 250. And that was the big go time for me. Personally, I did get into some stuff at 250. And then look at this. We've smashed through the zag zone from this high and this low. It's looking great at the moment. And I just like to point out something. Where have we found exact resistance on the others, the altcoin market? Bang, right there. Now, look, that is at previous resistance here, but why didn't it stop here at previous resistance? Why not? Because it stopped at the 0.786 Fibonacci from this high and this low. I am telling you, Fibonacci is a massive thing if you don't already believe it, which I think you do. Okay, point at the $276 billion mark, exact spike. People watch this stuff, okay? And they trade it accordingly. So it's really positive. And while we are above 260 billion, it is go time for crypto, okay? I'm in some positions, a couple of positions I was in previous to breaking through, and I've taken another small position in something. I'll tell you what that is in just a second. As long as we stay, I mean, you can come back into this zone for a little bit as long as we get out of that zone. So for example, let's just flip the script for a second and I'll show you. I mean, it's looking fantastic. Looking really good. You do have to be cautious, of course. But now let's assume for a second that we do have a bit of a dip from this low and this high. I'm fine for it to go back into, but not spend. Not a lot of time, please, in between here and here. So that's anywhere between, I mean, I'd rather it not get back down to 240 billion. I'd rather it stay above that 260 where we are right now, but a little dip down into preferably that 256. Can you see that? That might freak some people out. Dip to the 0.382 and then back up. Look, I'll even give it to here. Technically, you can give it to here and it's still fine, but I'd just rather it didn't. So anywhere between 256 to 250 billion, that's cool. You have a bit of a move, markets go up, markets go down. As long as we get back above that 260-ish, then it's looking fantastic. Okay, does that line up quickly with the other stuff? No, not that one. No, it wasn't even that one. Not even going to, yeah, there we are. There's that 260, yeah, there's that one. Yeah, about there would be preferable. So I give it about that 256 to 250. Don't go lower than there, please and thanks. And then if you stay above that 260 level, chef's kiss onwards and upwards. From there, let's talk about where we could potentially go higher on the general altcoin market, which means your favorite crypto will probably just be blasting through the absolute roof. Let's see, this is the monthly time frame. We need to clear, look, it's pretty simple. If I go from this high and this low, pretty darn simple. We need to get through, yeah, it's around about that $350 billion mark. Getting through 300, now number one, getting through 300 billion is really super ultra dang bullish. Why? Well, because then you're making a higher low than you're making a higher high, a higher low, and then another higher high. So from here, right, higher high. Sorry, I always get confused with that. It's a lower high technically than that. But then you've got a higher low, and then if you do that, if you creep through there, the higher lows and the lower highs always get me. Then you've got a higher low and then a higher high, and that's ultra bullish, all right? So getting through the $300 billion mark, of course, and then ultimate, if we take it from this high and this low, we'll be getting through its zag zone, but it would just be looking great. But you just got to be aware of the other areas, and that's around about 345 billion would be the big macro test. Okay, get through there, and then we're talking, okay, then you're going to break 450 and you're probably going to break the all-time high. We'll wait for 345, 350. It is 350 technically. If we get through there, we'll start talking about all-time highs for the altcoin markets. Okay, but we won't go there just yet. Let's take a look at a little bit of individual crypto. Here's a few things that I am currently in. And one thing I just jumped in after that break in the altcoin market. Here is DOT on the weekly time frame, priced in USD, $3.86. I was in DOT. I'm now in profit in DOT. I took it before the breakout, and I took a little bit of a risk on it, but it has paid off so far. So here is DOT, looking pretty good. All I need to show you on the daily time frame is we have come into but found resistance so far at its zag zone. So we popped our head through at $4.10. It's not preferable to have closed the day below here, that we've spiked to that $4.10. It's not preferable that we've closed below there, but look, markets go up and markets go down. We've had a decent move. So I'd say from this low and this high, you just don't want it to see it close below, please and thank you. Right about here, no lower than $3.57, call it that, and that's obviously previous resistance there as well. Anywhere down to there, that's fine. We just need to get through this area here and as I posited before. I think it was on the live show or something. Something like this would be lovely. Get into the zag zone. You'll probably find some resistance here because you've got trapped money, and that's the psychology of people buying here, thinking they were going to make an absolute fortune, and then they've ridden this all the way down, and then some of those people there are going to go, I'm out of this game, it sucks, so they'll break even. So you might find some selling around here, but if we do that and then we break through, once again, chef's kiss for DOT. So that's something I'm in currently, and I'm going to ride DOT until it doesn't look like it's going up anymore. That's the technical term. Look, I will get out if it starts breaking below $3.20. I'm out, because that means it's a bearish change of market structure. We've gone into bullish, and now if it gets back down through there, the question is, why is it doing that? So then I will be absolutely out. I might even be out before then, okay? But no lower than there. Get the hell out of DOT if it heads down below $3.25, roughly, and then I'll just keep riding it, as I said, until it does something where it changes market structure, goes bearish. It's not bearish right now. It's very bullish. That is DOT. I am also in ONDO. Tell me ONDO, ONDO, ONDO. This is ONDO, a real-world asset crypto. Love it. I am in it, and look where we have found exact resistance. Isn't that funny? Again, this Fibonacci. The Fibonacci thing is incredible. Okay, so here is ONDO. We found exact resistance at 93 cents, and we're down at 87.5 cents right now. And once again, look at this. Why didn't we find resistance here? Why did we spike to here? Because it's the top end of the zag zone. It's the 0.618 from this high and this low. So we've tested it. Great. Now we just need to break through it. And if you break through it, it's just looking amazing. And I would hazard a real good guess. I bet you any money you like. Right here at about $81.30, 80 cents, 81 cents roughly. I bet that lines up with a Fibonacci level. If I get rid of you and you, I bet it does. Let me get rid of all that for you. Could I be eating my words in about 2.3 seconds? Sure. But let's go from this low and this high. Does it intersect with anything? At 81. Yes, it does. 81.70. Close enough for Jazz. What did I say? 81.30? Right there. Yep, right there. And that's at the 0.382. Isn't it funny how that works? So I'm happy for it to come anywhere. I'm down into here is incredibly bullish. If you bounce off here and then break that for ONDO, that's my technical analysis, right? But you can cheat it, and not cheat it. You can get anywhere down into here, into that normal support zone, and you'd be kind of cool. That'd be all right. I would just prefer bouncing off previous resistance there at 81 cents, roughly 82 cents. Let's just do that, can we? Break through there, golden for ONDO. And I'll just, again, just like DOT, I'll continue to ride it until it starts looking bearish on the longer term timeframes. And it currently is not. And the other one I'm currently in is SUI. This is SUI. Gee, where did we find resistance? At the top end of the zag zone right here at about $3 something. Had a little spike. That does match with previous resistance there, but we're nearly through the zag zone. We've tested it, okay? And now we're coming back, hopefully, to bounce off roughly here. Where did we find support? Bang on the 0.5 Fibonacci at $3.30. Cool. So from this low and this high, if we are going down further, you can come anywhere into the zag zone, and that's anywhere between here and here. That's anywhere between $3.30. Isn't that interesting? That's the 0.5 Fibonacci, and that's the top end of the zag zone. $3.30, anywhere down into $3.10, which matches with previous resistance. Once again, so anywhere into there, no lower than $3.10, please and thanks, and it's still very bullish for SUI as well. That is one I'm in, and I'll show the other one I'm currently in. I am in one called Audio. This is audio on Bybit. Okay, I'm currently in it. It was actually brought to me by the amazing ASX trader at Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. Let me show you right here if I can find it. This is the public charts. Silver continue its run, high net worth. That's the video, silver progress. No, it's not even there. Let me go. What was it? I'll go audio. Let's see if we can find it. This is Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. .com. Yeah, there it is right there. So ASX Trader. The head of Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, one of my brand sponsors, posted here about audio on the daily. Very good risk to reward here on a break of resistance. Once I saw this little call about audio, I checked it out myself. I went, oh yeah, that makes sense because breaking here, market structure, off of bullish divergence, etc. And I took a small position, roughly about there-ish. Okay, so I'm in profit at the moment. It's a small leverage trade position, so I do have a tight stop loss on there. But so far, we're looking good. That's on the 4 hour. Let me show you on the weekly. Weekly, we have broken through, and actually, we almost, if we break through here at 6.3 cents, we've broken it on the daily. So we broke through there at that about 6 cent mark right there. So that's where I got in, around about that 6 cent mark here on that break of market structure. So I'm in from around about there. Just got to manage it, got to watch it very closely. It might come back to test that 6 cent area. I've just got to watch it there. Hopefully it does this and it bounces off. And then onwards and upwards, hopefully we go. If general crypto is going up, then this will go up too. And then a break of that, whatever that is on the weekly. Yep, that is on the weekly. You break there at around about that 6.3 cent mark. That will be a change of market structure on the weekly time frame also, which is highly bullish. And again, I don't know where it can go to. This might be a beautiful start of a huge crypto run, altcoin season in 2025. This could go much, much higher. On the longer term, I did look at this level right here. This is a bit of blue sky thinking. We have a little bit of sort of a larger, smaller time frame area to get through. I need to get through here first. Okay, so through there, and that's got to get through the 0.618 that's at 8 cents. So there's a bit of a battle going on between now and 8 cents, but if you can clear 8 cents, then I think it's going to bare minimum about 12 cents, 12.5 cents. That's not a bad move from here. I mean, what's that? That's 100%. Would you mind? Would you like to double your money in a short period of time? Sure. Or could you even come up to that 8 cent level? And that's, oh no, oh no. It's only a 55% increase in a short period of time. Oh no. How dare you give me money? So that is audio. I'm also in that. Let's take a look at some of your favorites, which you'd like me to talk about. Let's go to, here is TOSHI on the daily time frame price in USD, 000538. We've come up to test. It's a very good sign. Okay, we've come up to test the bottom end of the zag zone. I do need to get it. Do need to see it get through. So far, it has found a resistance right there. We're breaking back down. I didn't prefer to see it break down below that 0.00055 area, which I talked about before. But look, markets go up, markets go down. As long as we hold above, preferably on the daily time frame between this low and this high now, which we can take it from. We're actually sitting there right now. Okay, so that's actually at 0054. Okay, really preferably need to see it hold above that area. Breaking down from there, then you've got to ask the question, well, why isn't this resistance now becoming support? So if I look on the 4 hour time frame, what are we looking at here? 4 hour time frame, we've been overvalued, overbought, heading back down. On the 1 hour, do I see any divergence or anything like that? Yeah, it's not preferable that I see a break of there. Sometimes it likes to fake you out at the 0.786 instead. Okay, so really don't break through there, preferably. But again, if general crypto is going up, I don't see why TOSHI wouldn't, because it's the face of base. It's the meme coin of base chain, okay? And it's something that I was in that got listed on Coinbase and had a massive run, and it should do well in a crypto market. So I will give it, if you want, it can tend to come down sometimes and really freak people out, down to the 0.786. So I'll give it here. You can see that previous area of resistance. So if you want, don't go below 0005-ish, 0051. You start breaking below there, then I'm getting really concerned. I'm getting concerned as why these people, these sellers, why aren't buyers coming in here? Why not? Okay. preferably. Let's just bounce off this 0.618. And if we do all that, then it's looking fantastic. And we just need to break through, as I said before, this larger area. We need to get through this zag zone right here, get through there. 0.00075 is the big kicker. Okay, once you're through there, you're through this trapped money. Again, we talked about trapped money before, which is the psychological, oh, I bought here, I'm going to make $1 million. Oh, I haven't made $1 million. I hate this game. I'm getting out of this game. It sucks. So you're going to battle with these people psychologically. Once you can break through that, through 0.00075, I'm just going to say it's pretty much sky's the limit after that. Okay, markets go up and down, but there's not a lot of resistance on the way up to the all-time high after you break 0.00075. So that's the big kicker right there. So anyway, that is Toshi. That is one I will be back in if when the time presents itself. I have to show you XRP. This is XRP, the crossover crypto between the precious metals world and the crypto world. Of course, you all know it. Some of you have a big love-hate relationship with it. What we have done though, however, which is good news, we've crossed and tested the $2.70 mark right there. So we got through the zag zone. We had a spike to the 0.786 roughly. That's at $3. So we're nearly at new all-time highs. Okay, this is very positive. As long as we can remain above this area, roughly that $2.70, $2.60 kind of area. I don't want to fall back. I definitely don't. What you do not want to see is falling back below there. So $2.30, death knell, not good. Okay, so do not fall back below $2.30. But falling into here somewhere, okay, just freak us out for a little bit. That's fine. But yeah, $2.30, no go below. Cool, no bueno, below, no go. So then cross above that $3 mark and stay above $2.70. And I'm saying new all-time high in XRP coming very, very soon. Shall we do a quick little if then, if this then that, if that then this thing? I have talked about it before. I've probably got it drawn in from older school Fibonacci, but I think it was at around about the $10 mark. Was it? Probably. Look, I think the $10 psychological value, that's where I've put it here before, but was it from this high and this low? Yeah, it was about $10. So I think $10 will be a huge psychological value. It's the next major value because when you broke through $1 and then you go through those sort of decimals. Okay, so the double digit XRP would be a big one. So watch out for about $10. That's all you really need to know. And that's a pretty decent move from here. Anyway, that is XRP. Other people like me to talk about ZBCN. Here is ZBCN, ZBEC network. Oof. We have done something very interesting. We are 0035. This is the sort of, it's not a particular exchange one. It's the general crypto one. Let's see, from this high and this low, I might just get rid of a couple of things for you just so you can see everything a little bit more clearly. And that rectangle, yeah, get rid of you too. So here we go. Beautiful. All right, so what we've done from this high and this low, we've broken back through, good to see, broken back through the 0.236, which we absolutely had to do bare minimum. That was at 0034-ish. We've yet to get into the zag zone, okay, from this high and this low. Found resistance almost there. Don't forget, look, you're coming up against what? Look at this. Look at right there. What is this right here? That is, again, from a psychological point of view, that is trapped money. People going, I'm going to make $1 million, didn't do it. Some of them will be getting out because they hate the game. And we just need to get through there. I would actually suggest if you can break through 0.000415, there's actually not a lot of trapped money in this zone. Normally this is a battle zone. I don't think this will be much of a battle zone, actually, because I'm looking, where's the trapped money? There's a little bit here, I guess. But kind of this is your main area here of support and resistance. So I think you might go to battle a little bit, but I think it's probably be pretty smooth sailing. But just to be absolutely sure, clear and hold above 0053, and I'll say a new all-time high coming in ZBEC network, ZBCN, and then we'll talk about much higher prices when we do that, if general crypto is going up. Any final ones? If you have a request for a crypto for me to look at, The easiest way is just to pop a comment below or actually join me on the live show on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. And I do live looks at things when people request them, particularly when you give me a super chat, that I always give preference to those. Any last things that I want to talk about? Anything that's absolutely pumping? Let me just check my thing here. No. Oh, that's had a huge move. No, I won't do that one. What's a crypto that's done really well? No, I think that's around about it for general crypto. Of course, if you want to learn to be a better investor, if you want to learn to trade, to be a full-on trader, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it. I'm starting the Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com 12-month course. Now, there is a 10-week course. This is an Australian-based educational program. It's not, and again, it's not one of these just these call websites where you join and you pay like an exorbitant amount of money, and they're not teaching you. They're giving you a fish, but they're not teaching you how to fish. Okay, this is actually literally a school. It's a school to be educated on how to be a good investor and how to be a trader. You'll learn, at least in the 10-week course, you can do that. Dow Theory, Principles, and Technical Analysis Foundations. That's the Unit 1. That's what I'll be doing in the first unit of my full 1-year course. But then Unit 2, 3, and 4, that goes into the Beyond the Basics. You're doing a whole unit on Elliott wave theory, and then Mastering the Markets Advanced Technical Analysis Strategies as well. I'm going through this course starting on July the 21st. Okay, I'm very excited to start. And of course, as I showed you before, the Mastering the Markets Academy. Now, you can join the Academy for free. They have a free section which they post all their publicly listed things on social media and stuff. So you can see some of the free stuff. But really the secret sauce, the alpha, is when you join their paid subscription. Now, for what you pay for what you get with a Mastering the Markets monthly subscription to the Academy, I cannot tell you what I've learned so far from just being a part of the Academy, the paid subscription, without even doing a course. You tend to imbibe a lot of stuff because they do multiple live streams with multiple educators every single week just for the members. You don't have to be in a course to see all this stuff. Okay, so for example, the next event today is Macro Sundays with Tung. Tung is a Deca millionaire who made his money in various ways, and he goes through the macro cycles. Okay, it'll blow your mind. Okay, the stuff that he talks about. And then of course you got ASX Trade doing his weekly market scan tomorrow, and you've got all the other educators doing their different things as well. There's technical analysis, there's fundamental analysis as well. I cannot recommend this more highly. Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been a Bitcoin and crypto update with me, Joe Main, here at Good Morning Stackers. Let's do a final synchronized slurp. Grab your tasty beverage. 3, 2, 1, go. Good stuff, people. Catch me live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and hit the big red subscribe button and follow me everywhere where you can follow me to stay updated in between. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I will speak to you soon.